Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Blue Jay Acres. My name is Noelle. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today is Sunday. I know I look the same as I did on the last video. That's because I squeezed in the intro on the same day. So today I got a lot of actually meal prep type stuff to do for the week. Now that it is back to the school year, what I do is changed. It's more a lot of cooking on the weekends, and weekdays are not so much cooking. It's just super fast, easy stuff all week long. So the more prepared, the better. And since we make everything from scratch here, it is very good to have things prepared and ready. So you guys saw on the last video cooking with me that we made a few snack items. So I did get that done. We made some banana bread, so I don't really need to make muffins. Charles likes to have something to just kind of grab and go and snack like that, and so do the kids. But I do have some other things that I need to just really jump into meal prep. So one of the first things that I do is pick out basically my meat bowl, which is get a variety of meats out so that they can get defrosted and into the fridge. We are going to cook some of it today. And then I will also though have some just ready to go in the fridge. So by the time we eat through the stuff that we prepared today, it will be ready the next set of days. Meats worth will be defrosted in the fridge and ready to go. So here's what I put aside. All right, so here's basically my little meat bowl. I have some ground pork. I have some pork sausage. I have pork neck bones. I thought that I would make soup beans and cornbread one day. I have some round steak out, 2 packs of those. We're gonna make, with all our peppers and stuff, we'll make some like fajitas, so I just have to make them that day. Fast, easy, the steak fajita mix, and then just make some tortillas. And then I have some chicken breasts. And so this is gonna go in the fridge, and this will be ready then in like 2 to 3 days. And we'll eat through the other stuff. Now, one of the other things I got out is a chicken carcass. I need to get this into the crock pot. We're gonna start with that, so I have some bone broth ready to go. So one of the things I like about having bone broth in the fridge ready to go is when I do things like cook up the chicken breasts, or, you know, just I need to make gravy, or we wanna just turn it into a quick soup. Because if it's chilly like today, it's so cold, it's in the 40s right now, it's chilly. You know, then it's very quick and easy and ready to make. It's also just you're a little bit hungry and want something to snack on, but you don't really want to snack, throw a little bit of vegetables in with some chicken broth, bone broth, and it is really good, just fast snack. Also, I didn't get to finish showing you guys, because it's actually the next day for me, but I'm not sure how many days will be between the last video I did. Here is the lard then that we rendered. I do have to render lard again, but that lard I'm not going to do until overnight tonight, because I want to use my crock pot to make the bone broth. Probably need to invest in a second crock pot. But let's go on and get this bone broth started first. Alright, so one of the things that I keep in my freezer is just a bunch of scraps of onion peels, garlic peels. This is an onion that was going to go bad pretty fast, so I put it in here. But I'm just going to do this onion and garlic peels in here. And then I'm going to add the chicken carcass. I'm also going to add some carrots, a little bit of the celery, and water. This is just filtered water. Honestly, I might go on and throw another carcass in here. I've got enough room. I'm just gonna add another carcass in here real quick. So I got plenty of room for that. I'm gonna add a little bit more water as well. I'm gonna add some peppercorns. I'm gonna add some salt. I'm gonna add some of our dried parsley. I'm gonna add a little poultry seasoning. And I'm gonna add a couple bay leaves. Then I'm just gonna put my lid on and cook this on low, and we'll let that cook all day. Okay, so next I am going to make some rolls. And we chose rolls because we've actually been liking that better than actually making loaves of bread. It's way easier to just throw some egg salad on a roll, or some meatballs on a roll, or peanut butter or whatever, than cutting all the sandwich bread. And it just seems to be, I don't know, we're enjoying it better, the rolls versus loaves of bread. So that's pretty much what we've been making, as either dinner rolls or buns mostly. So let's get that started. We're gonna make the rolls real quick. So here I'm gonna start with 1 cup of warm milk. A tablespoon of yeast. And about 1.5 teaspoon or tablespoons of sugar. Quick little stir. And we're gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes. All right, now we're gonna finish it up. We're gonna add an egg. You can see it's nice and foamy. I have about a couple tablespoons of butter. I like to add butter to rolls or buns. I'm also gonna add just a little bit of avocado oil, whatever kind of oil you have. That was about a tablespoon. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of salt. And then this is optional, but just to make it extra soft, I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of Vital Wheat gluten. That's what this is, or you could just use bread flour here. Totally optional. Like yesterday, my stuff was super, on the last video, it was completely soft without anything. So that is just optional. I have it, so I'm just gonna use it. And then we're gonna add flour, and that's it. Super easy. Probably start with 2.5 cups of flour. There's 1.5. 2.5. And I'm gonna just mix this on low and let this get mixed up. All right, I can already tell I'm gonna need about another cup of flour. So it's been about 5 minutes, so I'm just gonna pick this off. Oh, this dough is so soft. It's gonna be perfect. I'm gonna cover and let this just sit for an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how warm your house is, the humidity in your house. Lots of things can affect it. But an hour to an hour and a half should do until it's about double in size. Okay, while that's rising, we're gonna make a really fast and easy meatballs to just have in the fridge. We still have some of that marinara that we made yesterday, around the last time you guys saw me. So I want to just go on and make something to go with it. We can do meatball subs or meatball on these rolls that we're gonna make. Or just have meatballs on salad, whatever. You can do all kinds of things with meatballs. I'm gonna add a couple cloves of garlic. Again, this is just gonna be very basic. gonna add an egg. I'm gonna add salt. And that was just a pound of pork sausage and a pound of ground pork. Right now we don't have a lot of beef, so I'm saving any ground beef we have just for hamburgers. And we're using ground pork in place of all the ground beef because we have a bunch of pork right now. When you're raising your own meat, that's kind of how it goes, is you end up with like an abundance of certain things. Different meats at different times depending on which season it is that you're butchering. So I'm gonna add some Italian seasonings. And then I'm gonna grate some Parmesan cheese in here as well. Right now we have a lot of pork and chicken. That is the season we're in right now. We just had 2 of our pigs processed. We're doing a bunch of meat birds. So we will not have beef till next spring or early summer. Now normally I would add breadcrumbs to this, but I don't have any bread made right now, so I'm just gonna add some oatmeal and that'll be fine. Then just a little splash of milk. I have 1 little tiny onion from our garden here, so I'm just gonna finely cut this up. Alright, and then I'm just going to go in and mix this all up with my hands. You could add other stuff, ketchup, tomatoes, tomato sauce, you know, whatever you like. I'm just doing very, very basic again. Alright, and then I'm just going to roll them into meatballs here, and I'm going to pop them in the oven at 350 degrees until they're cooked all the way through. And once this is done, I like to add just a little more salt and pepper on the top. This is fresh ground pork. It's unseasoned, so it needs quite a bit of salt. Otherwise, it's very bland. So even though it's mixed with the sausage, it just needs extra salt. Alright, this is ready for the oven. Alright, next I've got a bag of chicken breasts. I'm going to just bake them up, put a very basic seasoning on them. This can be used throughout the week to put on salad, to put in a burrito, to shred and put like marinara, cheese and make like a Parmesan. It can be used to make chicken salad, because we're going to make some mayonnaise soon. Just used for multiple things. Great for lunches, fast, easy lunches. So I've got 4 of them here. And last week we used this Cuban blend and it worked really good. So that's all I'm going to put on it. It's just Cuban blend. And then I like to put just a little bit of avocado oil on top. It just helps, I think, keep it tender. moist. So I just drizzle a little bit on top. And that's it. I'm gonna pop this in the oven and that'll be done. Nice, I've got a bunch of eggs I'm gonna put on to boil. There's about 10 of them in there. Right now we're getting about 40 eggs a day. We do sell quite a bit, but I also like to have some boiled. Charles loves egg salad. So we're gonna make up some mayonnaise here in a minute. I love chicken salad. So we'll have all the things to make that kind of stuff. Again, this is making stuff for breakfast, for lunches and dinners. It's mostly what I'm prepping. As far as breakfast goes through the week, normal is yogurt, which I normally would make yogurt on the weekend. However, I had a bunch of milk last week to use up. So, because my shot didn't agree with me the week before. So I didn't use a bunch of my milk. So I had 2 gallons I needed to use up. So I quickly turned that into yogurt because we go through so much yogurt here. So I don't need to make any today because I just made it Thursday and today's Sunday. Now later in the week, I'm sure I'm gonna need to make some more yogurt. But we typically do yogurt or oatmeal or fry up some eggs. That's pretty much our breakfast throughout the week. Fast and simple. Mostly I do yogurt, and Charles mostly does yogurt. Kate and Theo do a lot of oats. So, and of course there's always ingredients to throw together. A smoothie. Ronnie will do more like the yogurt bark that we made the other day. She'll grab some of that on her way out the door. So, yeah. So I'm gonna just make these eggs, and then we're gonna whip up some mayonnaise real quick while all this is cooking. Okay, so real quick about mayonnaise. As you make it all the time, you don't really need to always measure everything out. You kind of find that out. But you also, you can flavor it however you want. You could add some garlic here. You could add some miso, which I love to do. You can add all kind of stuff and have a very delicious mayonnaise. That's about a cup of oil. I'm gonna add 1 egg to this. Normally you would add some mustard, but I like to add a little bit of miso. A drop of lemon juice. A little salt. If you wanted, you could add some hot sauce to this as well and make it like a spicy mayo. You can do all kind of stuff. When I go in with my immersion blender, I just want to kind of cover the egg the best I can. And I'm just gonna leave it down until you see me getting a thicker like mayonnaise at the bottom. Once you start to really get the mayonnaise at the bottom, then you can start lifting it. And just slowly up and down. And that is a little bit thin. I think I'm going to add 1 more egg. Now we're getting thicker. We have some new layers, so not all of our eggs are really big. Now, a beautiful thick mayonnaise. Perfect. Give it a little taste. That's perfect. And there you have it. That is a perfect mayonnaise. You could add dill to this. You could add all kinds of stuff. Just, I mean, use your imagination. If you use different oils, it's going to taste different as well. I like avocado oil. Don't much care for olive oil in it. It gives too strong of a flavor for me. But yes, I love it. We use it. I mix dill in it and use it like a tartar sauce. We use it a lot when we eat fish, burgers, whatever you use mayonnaise for. And some of you are concerned always when I make the mayonnaise about the raw eggs. You don't have to be concerned about raw eggs. Mayonnaise you buy from a store has raw eggs. The acidity from this keeps it from going bad and making you sick. But you can look it up yourself and Google it and see why is raw eggs safe in mayonnaise. It is safe. If you don't want to use mayonnaise or egg, I don't really know how you make mayonnaise. Because that's kind of what it is egg and oil. That's basically what it is, and then however you want to season it. With a little bit of either vinegar or lemon juice, some acidity. That's your basic mayonnaise. So if you don't really like the raw egg, then maybe look up how to make some kind of vegan mayonnaise, I guess. But there you have it, mayonnaise. Okay, then we're gonna do some baked potatoes. I like to have those in the fridge as well. I try to pick a couple grains. Sorry, I was just eating some of that yogurt bark. It's so good. I try to have a couple grains each week in the fridge so that way people can just grab. So we're gonna have the bread. We're gonna have baked potatoes. And then we're also gonna have, make up some rice. And that can go in, then we can quickly turn that into chicken fried rice. We can turn it into chicken rice soup. So we got the bone broth going. There's so many things. All of this is very versatile. Everybody can make it however they want, whatever taste they want, which is nice. And all of this food will last 3 to 4 days. And then we'll move on to the meat that I have defrosting in the fridge. And that'll take over for the next few days until the weekend when I'm back in the kitchen cooking a lot. So this is just the easiest, fastest way. We don't do a lot of sweets and stuff like that. We do more popcorn and that kind of stuff. Oh, sorry. My tea is ready. But we do a lot of popcorn, and Charles likes to snack on some nuts, and as long as I have something made like banana bread or something, he's happy. The girls and I don't do a ton of snacking. Again, popcorn maybe. We do quite a bit of air pop popcorn. And that's it. During the week we keep things very, very simple during the week now. So let's get these potatoes going. Best baked potatoes ever. These are from our garden, which is always fun. I'm gonna put on a splash of avocado oil. I would do olive oil, but I don't have any right now. My next Stager order, I do have olive oil coming. So I will use that then. I'll share that with you guys. And I got avocado oil coming because I definitely went through it way faster than I thought I would. Because I went through a fried fish kick. So I use that for frying as well. So I just went through it fast. Luckily I had this. I think I got it from Walmart or something. I have like 3 bottles of that downstairs, luckily. Okay, so here I'm gonna just sprinkle on some garlic powder. I need to put this in a mason jar. I just had to open a new garlic powder. And I'm gonna add some salt. I have Himalayan pink salt. I really only use Himalayan pink salt or Redmond real salt. That's pretty much the only salts that I have in my house. And then I'm gonna just cover this with some foil. And I'm gonna bake this in the oven for about an hour or until they're done. Now, With the baked potatoes, you can turn it into fries, you can turn it into baked potato salads, you can turn it, or just eat the baked potatoes. You could crisp them up in some oil and make them like a cottage potato. There's so many things that you can do. I normally would actually just even steam these in the Instapot. Those of you that have been with me for a long time know I love to keep a bowl of potatoes in my fridge because it's just so versatile and you can have it all the time ready. And today though, I've got the oven going and it's really chilly out, so I kind of like the oven, so it's gonna be baked potatoes this time instead of just like steamed potatoes. All right, my eggs are done. I need to get those off of here, and we need to get out our meatballs as well. Meatballs are done. And put the potatoes in. And just give these a quick little toss. I always like to be safe with pork. I want to always check my meatballs. I want to make sure that I'm at least at 145. I'm at 177, so I mean I'm totally fine. 163. I just like to always double check pork and chicken, just in case. All right, I'm gonna move these over to cool off. So this is garlic powder. I like to buy my spices that I use all the time by the pound because it is just way cheaper that way, and then I store it in old jars. This is like an old, looks like maybe spaghetti jar. So see how much more I got in here. I think I can get it in. The only thing the kids hate about this is they never know what's what. They have to ask. Like, where's the onion powder? Where's the garlic powder? Okay, so I thought right now I'd just talk about this for a second and then we'll go back into cooking while I'm kind of in between cooking things and just drinking some tea. So many of you know that I've been doing monthly shopping at Azure, and then I get some stuff from local farmers markets and local farms. I do pick up my dairy weekly from a dairy farm that is out here. It's about 10 to 15 minutes from my house, and aside from that, that's like it. We raise all of our own meat, so I don't worry about that. We have our own eggs here on the farm. So I've been doing that now probably about 6 months that I've been just going monthly and just shopping Azure. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. So now I have two pretty big orders. They're right around $800 a piece coming for September and October from Azure. And then I will share those with you. And then I am not going to shop again until April. And I'm going to try to only shop twice a year. I'm going to try to do April and October. That way October I can stock up on all the baking needs and the things I need for the winter. And in April, it's not really a lot of baking needs and things like that because we don't do a lot of baking so much in the summer. but just replenishing anything that maybe I took down to nothing. That's also going to help me just really realize what my family eats, and as we are going to try to provide as much food as we can for ourselves on our farm, it gives me a better idea of what we need to grow, how much of it we need to grow, what are we really going through. Because the ultimate goal would to be only have to do a grain purchase from Azure once a year and get the basics, you know, grains, oils, that type of stuff, yeast and that kind of stuff, and then to solely live off our stuff or local farms. That's the goal. So I feel like I'm getting closer and closer there. I'm learning more and more. The last few months I'm learning more and more of what we go through and what we don't. Last month I did order a bunch of flour. So I have flour to get me through the winter because we do a lot of baking. And I also ordered a bunch of butter because even though I can make my own butter from the dairy we're getting, for the winter, there's no way that's enough butter. I mean, I'd have to have my own cow in order to get enough butter for the winter. So, and that right now we don't have a dairy cow right now on the farm. So that being said, I just thought I'd kind of share that with you. After I buy apples this year from finding a local farm that's going to have apples, and if I can't find it, which I should be able to, then I'll just get it from Azure and I'll add that to my October pickup. Aside from I want a couple bushel apples, really after these 2 orders I won't even go to a farmer's market. It should just be nothing except for what we're growing and what I have supplies stocked up, you know, in our pantry and stuff like that until April. So I hope you guys want to follow along with that and see what that's like, because I'm very excited to do that, because I'm at the point I don't enjoy going into a store at all. That was part of it. The recalls have definitely freaked me out. Way too many recalls. And we spend way less on groceries than most people do. And yet I'm getting very high quality groceries, all organic, high quality. But because we're just buying the necessities, the basic ingredients to make everything ourselves, I spend very little. I spend between, realistically, $400 to $600 a month is what is spent for my family. And that is feeding 8 to 9 people. Big people at that. Even though my girls are off to college, they're taking stuff from the house constantly. And some of you are going to say, yeah, but you got to put feed and all of that into your eggs and your meat. We work it out so that whatever we are providing for ourselves, we sell enough to cover the cost. So the only thing we don't cover enough right now to cover the cost is our beef. And beef is actually not very expensive at all. They eat some hay in the summer and they just are on pasture. They're not expensive. And then the butchering fees, and that's it. So we get our beef way cheaper than anybody at a store. As far as chicken goes, we're selling enough chicken, the meat birds that we raise, enough for us and them to cover the cost of that and whatever we're lacking in the cost to cover our eggs. We also sell eggs to cover the cost of our laying birds. So it covers all their feed and all their bedding. Our pigs, we are going to learn how to do the butchering for that ourselves. We're going to take a class either this winter or next fall. We haven't decided. We might go to the January class with the hollers so we can learn how to make dried meat as well. But we're undecided if we're going to do it this year or we're going to wait until next year, because we don't need to do our own pigs again until next fall. So fall or winter. So we're undecided because that's like a year out of taking the class and we want it to be a little bit more fresh in our mind. So we'll see which one we go to. But we sell piglets. When she has her litter, we sell most of the piglets and keep what we need for us to raise for meat. And that covers the cost of raising our pigs, which are very inexpensive because they are grazers. They graze. We raise kuni-kunis, so they're a nice fatty pig for lots of good lard making, but they're also a pasture pig, so they're pasture-raised pork. They eat very little grain. They eat very little grain. I give them the tiniest bit in the morning. And then in the winter though, they eat hay, and they do get a little bit more of like the feed that we get from the store, but they cost us maybe $15 a month, if that. So, I mean, they're not expensive at all. And again, definitely selling the piglets. Piglets sell for around $200. 150 to 200, just kind of depends on how many are out there a piece. So that more than covers the cost of raising the pigs. So that's how we get our meat, and that's how we can stay at that $400 to $600 a month on average for out the year. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys because I'm very excited about only having to shop twice, and I'm hoping I can do it twice this year. So stop in October, get my last order, and then not do it again until April, and then do another one in October. And I would love if that one in October I could just make it for a year and be done just once a year. That would be delightful. All right, back to cooking. Don't know that I'm going to do way too much more today. We'll just see what happens. I got to run Ash back up to the college a little later today, and it is already 12:30. Gotten a lot accomplished this morning. But we'll see. I know I do need to make up some ranch. I wrote down a little list. I needed to make up some ranch, and I need to make up the rice. I have some nectarines. I thought about making some fruit roll-ups, but I think I'm gonna wait and make that as part of a cooking exercise with Luke later in the week when we do his life skills class. So I think I need to make ranch, and then we'll see what else we make. We might make a couple more things. I almost forgot about our rolls. So let's just get this real quick. All I do here is just pinch off a little bit, just a little bit, and just kind of flatten it while I'm kind of pushing it under. And then I just take my hand over top, squeeze it, twist the bottom, and lay it down.
Get in there delivered from Little's. Immortalized range fire. Increasing firing power of 4 times per second. Extra insanity from 0.
All right, now I'm just gonna cover this and let it sit and rise for about 45 minutes. All right, now it's time to make the ranch. So I just have this old pickle jar. Works perfect for ranch. So we're gonna start off with some Greek yogurt. I have some homemade Greek yogurt here. I'm gonna do about a cup of Greek yogurt. I'm gonna stir it a little bit of the whey is on top. Okay, there's the Greek yogurt. And add a little bit of the lemon juice. A tiny bit of milk, just to thin it out a little bit. Some dried chives, about a tablespoon. I'm gonna do a half teaspoon of onion powder. You can add more if you want. I'm gonna do a teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm gonna do a tablespoon of dried parsley. I'm gonna do about 3/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna do about a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm gonna do about a 1/4 teaspoon of dill. Let's see, I think that's everything. We're gonna just mix this all up. Adding more milk is needed. Thin it out. That's still pretty thick. That's like a great, here's the thickness. So it's like a great dip if you just want to leave it like a really thick dip. Give it a little taste. I don't want it a thick dip. I want it more of a salad dressing. All right, that is pretty good. Oh, that is never gonna work. And you can just shake it if you need to. And just play with the spices till you get it just how you like it. And that's it. Ranch dressing, already ranch on top. It's ready to go. Okay, so our potatoes, they're beautiful, they're done. I'm gonna let those cool off. And now we're gonna get our rolls ready to go in. I'm just gonna kind of move them over. I have 1 egg here. I'm just gonna kind of beat it up with this. And I'm just gonna top it with a little bit of egg. And then this is going to go in the oven until it is nicely golden brown on the top. All right, I'm going to put this in the oven. All right, and then here are the rolls. All right, guys, it is 3 o'clock. I was gonna try and make some ice cream or something else, but honestly, I'm exhausted. I'm done. I need to run Ash back to college, and we just have other things that have to get done as well, besides being in the kitchen. And again, I'm just exhausted. So I was just looking over at the time again. It's 3 o'clock. So I will just see you guys on the next video. I'm gonna wrap this one up. I hope all of you guys have a great day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you very soon. Bye, everybody.